so fast. I'll have to give the matter a little thought. Go away and come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, but I want to go home now.
You've had plenty of time already.
Yeah. Do not arouse the wrath of the great and powerful Oz. I said come back tomorrow.
If you are really great and powerful, you'll keep your promises.
Do you presume to criticize the great Oz? You ungrateful creatures think yourselves lucky that I'm giving you audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now.
Oh,
The great Oz has spoken.
oh,
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great Oz has spoken.
Who are you?
oh I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz.
You are? I don't believe you.
I'm afraid it's true. There's no other wizard except me.
Pay no attention to the guy behind the curtain. Pay no attention to those crazy No Lakota people and their crazy facts and figures. Wait a minute. I'm Rich Hoffman of the No Lakota Levy campaign. And I can't even do that joking. But actually, the people in the Move Forward Lakota campaign, they're the ones that are telling you that our facts aren't right. And that somehow you're supposed to believe that if you just pay them a little bit more money, everything will be fine. What they're not telling you, and this is what our crazy facts and figures will tell you. We had a recent forum where we presented this thing in public, but I'm going to show it to you again. If you look, this spreadsheet that you see behind you is a collection of all the schools at Lakota listed over there. And over here, behind me, this is what the average salary is for each of those schools. Now, if you'll see the far column over here, that's is over a 3-year span. The average salary, if you add this whole column up, is about $56,000. They had a strike in 2008, at least a proposed strike, where the LEA was going to walk off the job. And what happened after that strike was there was a deal cut, and they resolved their labor dispute. And the following year, this middle column here, the average wage at Lakota went up to $59,000. And then, as you can see in this other column here, to the right next to the titles of each school, you'll see that the average wage there, if you add the average of all those numbers, the average wage comes up to about $62,000 a year. Current average wage at Lakota right now is $63,000, just a little bit above that. Now, we're not saying that you can't make that kind of money. That's not the problem. The problem is having an average salary of that amount of money, and then telling us it's for the kids, telling us that it's everything but the real reason. The real reason, and this is what we need to discuss, and this is what you need to know before you go vote. What you're voting for is maintaining this salary structure. And if that's okay, then do it. But I think that the people in this district need to understand what is driving the costs. Now, I personally think this is too high. I think it's way too high. I think you can have a few people, who make in this range. But you can't have 2,000 some employees who have an average salary of that. That's not efficient. Now, recently, one of the pro-Lakota people had suggested that they believe that the average salary in Lakota, Westchester, Liberty Township, was $78,000 a year. And I'm not sure where those people are at. I mean, there's people who do well in this community, and there's people who don't come close to that. Many people who don't come close to that. And it kind of gives you an insight into how the people who work for the pro-levy campaign, how they kind of see the world. You can't just throw infinite amounts of money at this thing. And you can't pay that kind of money and say it's for children. This is for employees. And this is to maintain those employees. And I think we're at a point where that's too much. And I think you need to send a message to tell them that's too much by voting no on the Lakota Levy November 8th. If you vote yes, you're telling them that this is fine, that this is going to be okay, that this is acceptable. And I think it's unacceptable to say that this is for children. Has nothing to do with children. You could have a 5-year teacher come in and teach kindergarten for $50,000 and be fine, as opposed to the person who has a master's degree and is making currently $80-some thousand. I don't see where the real big difference is. And I don't see how we can get to that point unless we even ask the question. So in this election, it's essential that you understand what the real argument is. The real argument is this. Since 2008, they had a labor strike. We passed the levy in 2005. Money started kicking in 2006, and they went after the money. And you can see how it increased. You can see right here. This fuzzy math, this crazy stuff behind the curtain, this is what caused this levy. And you have to make the decision on whether or not you want to sign your name to endorse this or to say no. You need to bring these average wages down to something we can live with, something that's more applicable to the community. So, on November 8th, make sure you go out and vote. Make sure you get all the facts and figures, and make sure to pay attention to the guy behind the curtain, the No Lakota people. Go to NoLakotaLevy.com. I'm Rich Hoffman, and I'd be happy to see you at the polls. Thanks.